Welcome to another episode of Lunch with the Shark. Join us as we dive deep into discussions about business, accounting, and finance to help you build a business that thrives. Now sit back and have a bite with your host, the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa.
Hello, and good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Lunch with the Shark. And how's your beginning of the week going? How's everything? How was your weekend? What do you do to decompress, to relax, to find your balance? This weekend over here at your house, like every other weekend, we had our nephew and our niece. We went to a restaurant downtown and had some lunch. We just spent it with the family, decompressing, enjoying our niece and our hectic life with our nephew, Miguel Angelito. My mom says that he's going through the growing pains of teenager years. I don't think so. But remember, uncle's perception compared to grandparents' perceptions are completely different. And we've actually been talking about that. We've actually been discussing the life cycles of a business, the life cycles of an individual. And we've been trying to compare the life cycle of us as humans to the life cycle of a company. And I think we've done a good job to identify those pains, those points, those items where we say, holy shit, yes, we are in this stage, but oh, well, I might be in this stage. And the only reason we're trying to do this is to help you identify where you are. Because if you identify in what cycle you are, you can actually know ahead of time the issues and the problems that we are going to encounter or we are encountering, and we can actually help either reduce or mitigate the implications that particular phase entails, or we expedite the death of the company to recreate ourselves. Interesting. Okay. And we also actually had a very interesting exercise over the weekend through several social media outlets, several groups, where we actually request the help of the members of those groups to help us understand, not really understand, to see their perception and their point of view based on a statement that we created it. And let me tell you, it was a very interesting exercise. The exercise was, as I told you, to help us see, based on third party, another individual, what a statement meant to them. What did the statement said to them? And it was very, very interesting to read most of the people's perception, and even read people that are just in those groups wasting time, people that are in those groups hating. And mind you, those haters make you grow. Those haters, which are assuming different things about either you, your company, your I apologize. I should have turned off my phone, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now, because you guys deserve all my attention. So I did it. Now, as I was saying, most individuals, haters are a great thing to have in those groups. You have the people that are really willing to help and support every member in those groups. And then you have other people that are there just to have fun, but in not a good way. Have fun in a way of bringing down people, thinking that they know everything, making sure that whatever they say transcends, and they want to make it personal. And we found and we encounter in couple of those groups, not in every single group, we encounter in a couple of those groups people like that, people that would actually oppress you and actually would comment very, very personal their comments or the messages or their beliefs. But overall, it was a very good exercise. Overall, I actually enjoyed it. I did it yesterday, actually Sunday, and it actually opened my eyes to. It's very simple. It's very easy to consult, to become a coach and a mentor for somebody else, but it's very difficult, and trust me, to consult, coach, or mentor for your own company or for your own family. That's why doctors, physicians, don't perform surgeries on relatives. It's very complicated. You become extremely nervous, and the margin of error becomes greater and bigger. So it's the same thing that happens in-house. It's a little bit complicated to see things not in a different perspective, but it's very good to see the things from the outside. Okay, so thank you to everyone who helped us or gave us a very clear idea of what that statement meant. There's another group. I just want to say, not every group is really good. There's groups that say that they are to support, but they're actually just trying to sell you shit. I encountered one of them, and it was like a spam machine. I got messages trying to sell me digital marketing, digital media, web pages, seminars for investing on Bitcoins, things that are fraudulent that I even did research. And they're like, dude, really? You're trying to sell me things that are against the law? Like, come on, dude. Like, those groups are worthless. There's some groups that are really, really good. There are others that are like, dude, I am just unsubscribing from here because this is trash. Okay? So FYI to those people, I am actually going to send you an email because you need to regulate your groups. You need to regulate what you're doing. You need to be aware because it's actually part of your brand. It's actually part of you. So be aware of that. Be very careful. Be very, very careful on what you follow. Okay? So today, we want to finish our series. We want to finish exploring the series of the life cycles of your business. Okay? So last Friday, we touched the topic of third age, old people, old businesses. And we said, you know what? Your death might be imminent. So guess what? I want to start by sharing a little bit about a band called The Byrds. Yes, Byrds. Okay? The Byrds were an American rock band formed in Los Angeles, California in 1964. One of the biggest songs was called Turn, Turn, Turn. And it is based on a book in the Bible. The biblical text of the song expresses there being a time and place for all things. Birth and death, laughter and sorrow, healing and killing, war and peace, and so on. So you get my drift, right? Turn, 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 and from 1964. Some of the lyrics included, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant, a time to reap that which is planted. This text clearly talks about the cycle of life as well as the cycle of your business. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A cycle. Since we have talked about the birth of your business, we should talk about the death of your business. There are some major signs that a business is dying or is about to die. The business is kept alive on life support through capital that ultimately gets lost or is it's not utilizable. How many months are you going to be willing to give your own money from your own profits to this business? Are you keeping this business alive in life support because of your ego? Most likely it is because of your ego. You don't want to be seen as a loser. You don't want to be seen as, fuck, I had to declare bankruptcy or I had to close my business down. Well, guess what? That should not be the case. In most cases, you're going to have to declare bankruptcy, or the government is going to come down and shut you down, or new regulations are going to make you shut down, or lack of employees are going to shut you down. Or guess what? Having 0 customers for X time of period, you're going to have to shut down. So this is like what happened to the auto manufacturers or the banking industry in the 2008 market crash. Shit. Do you remember that recession? We thought that it was the greatest depression since the Great Depression in the US. The market crash, like shit happened. Like shit hit the fan. So what happened? The only thing that are keeping the businesses alive were the systems, the rules, policies, and procedure. The government had to intervene and bail them out. Most of us think that the government gave them free money, that the government gave them carte blanche for them to save the businesses for the owners. Well, no. A lot of us might think that, but actually the government, what they did is they gave them very inexpensive loans. The government took part ownership on those businesses, and they came to agreements with the airline industry and the auto manufacturers, the banking industry and the auto manufacturers, so that they can keep employing most of their work base. Otherwise, it would have created a humongous snowball that would ultimately would have had a bigger impact on our economy. They got loans at a very accessible rates when banks were not financing them. They get actually bailed out. Okay, they actually had to pay interest. They actually had to surrender certain certificates. They actually had to cut down certain bonuses and expenses to their executive team in order for them to survive. What happened? They had to restructure. They had to be reborn. In a way, they died. Their death was imminent, and they were reborn. Okay, but their systems, their procedures, some things there were rescutable. When in turn, maybe in your business, nothing is rescutable. Yesterday we were talking about that. I don't remember. Oh yeah, on Saturday we actually had to go to a Lowe's, which is a warehouse store for home improvement and things like that. And we actually noticed that their point of sale had been updated, actually upgraded it, not updated. It was upgraded. And the cashier told us that, yes, that they did it a couple of weeks ago because they were still on a DOS base. And we started laughing because some of you might not even know what DOS base is. Well, it's a programming platform, prior to Windows. Okay, so I actually it was taught to me in I think it was junior high several years ago, and it's a program. You program in that language, and a lot of businesses might be in that system instead of being in a more modern point of sale system. So we were laughing because we've been talking about optimizing your systems and creating systems and being current. So that could kill your company. So they took action. We didn't consult for them. I wish. But they took action. They modernized their systems, their point of sales, and now they are at a different platform that is no longer DOS, and good for them. So coming back to the bailout, the industry, it doesn't mean that the industry was lacking or was dying or their businesses had no clients or customers. The sole fact of the whole economical impact overall in the world affected that industry. So that's exactly what we're looking and seeing currently. What's affecting this current market? Well, the restaurants are being very, very affected. The airplane industry, it's also being affected. The tourist sector, it's being affected. What they need to do is, I'm pretty sure that the government, there is going to be a bailout for them. But what they need to do is they need to think outside the box. They need to recreate themselves. They need to let this business model go and turn into a new, current, relevant business model. Okay? And if your restaurant means that you're going to have to be serving outside, just go full blown and create a patio of your restaurant. If you're going to have to do takeout, just do a full-blown systems for takeout. Remember, I actually said 90% of our takeout and deliveries that we've ordered for the house, they've been wrong. People, I understand that to the restaurant industry, I understand that you are having issues, but get it right. Get a procedure, get a system that it's right, accurate. If I were sitting in your restaurant at a table, I would not expect a 90% accuracy. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I order chicken, I expect chicken. What I've noticed also in the restaurant industry right now, and I'm not batching at all the restaurant industry, is that the kitchen is taking forever. I don't know if it's because of lack of people in the back of the house or have no idea. The restaurants are not at full capacity. Nevertheless, Cheesecake Factory, for example, lousy back of the house currently. They take forever. Cheesecake Factory used to bring you the food in less than 10 minutes after you sat down. It took us a couple of weeks ago, close to 35 minutes when they are at less than 50% capacity because they're only serving in the patio. And it took us over almost 35 minutes to get a food for a table of 5. Are you dying? I don't think the restaurant, Cheesecake Factory is dying. What you need to do is you need to recreate your systems just to serve with this amount of people, human capital, and things like that. So when you're dying or your company is about to die, there is no focus on innovation or on serving the needs of your customers. You're dying. Accept it. Right? There's no focus on the shareholders. There's no focus on your employees. There's no focus on your customers. There is no longer any sense of responsibility by anyone. The goal is to try to keep the business alive day by day. If you're in a restaurant, let me make it helpful for you. If you're having to buy supplies for your restaurant every day, not because you run out of them the day before, just to serve the customers that you're going to have that day, your business is dying. If nobody cares, starting from you, the owner, the employees, your business is dying. Learn how to read the signals. Okay? Learn how to read the signals. Read between the lines. There are no forward-thinking plans as the future looks dismal. Okay? The focus is on preservation of the current state. You really want to continue your business when you only have 1 or 2 customers a day if you're providing or selling a product? Do you think you're breaking even? Do you think that it's not costing you 1 customer a day or 2 customers a day? I've seen restaurants, and I'm focusing on the restaurant industry because they're hurting right now, and I wish I can help them. If you're closed, if your restaurant is closed, you might be well off having that restaurant or that location closed because it's not costing you as much as being operational. You're making the right decision. That it's affecting you? Yes. That it's hurting you? Yes. I was reading today on I think it was the New York Times or the Washington Post that an industry, Southwest Airlines might be having some layoffs late October or early next year if things don't get better than they are today. But they're not going to lay off or get people to furlough, even though they're losing $2 million per day. They're focusing on keeping everything steady as it is, but they're losing $2 million per day. Now, they prefer to be losing $2 million per day because they might have a backup plan. They already have foreseen their business future or what they're going to do. They have a plan. So those $2 million that they're losing per day, they're going to recoup in the next couple of months. Okay? So it's very interesting how that industry is keeping afloat. They have a plan. Okay? The focus is on preservation of their current state. That's what they're doing. Mind you, they're not in their up the hill or senior phase. It's the airline industry. And they're not in their death. Okay? Revenue and sales are dropping rapidly, and there is no upward swing in sight. For the airline industry, there is an upward swing in sight, which is as soon as a vaccine comes out in the current situation. Now, for the restaurant industry, it's the same thing. Nevertheless, for the restaurant industry, there's other avenues that they can take. Okay? They can perfect their delivery and or takeout. Okay? And they can perfect their service outside. And I'm talking about my experience in California. Okay? There's other states or cities where restaurants are allowed to operate indoors and outdoors. Okay? So I'm just talking about my experience here in California. Here are the major problems with the business that it's dying. And you might know this, or you might assume this. Every single freaking type of problem occurs. No matter what solution you come up with, nothing seems to fix the issue. They are so deep rooted in the business that a complete restart of the business needs to happen. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to let the business die. When somebody dies in our family, we go through a cycle of mourning. Okay, that needs to happen in your business. You need to let the business die unplug the business, okay? Have your mourning period and restart your business. Recreate it fresh. Don't do the same shit that you did for your business because you're going to get the same results. Think outside the box, okay? But your business needs to die a complete restart of the business. Don't just go out and put a under new management. Do you know what that reads to the public? That you're trying to rebrand. That you're the same shit, but you're saying, I have a new manager. Okay? That's all it is. Under new management. Okay? That's not a restart. That's not a restart. Number two, or the next one, loss of customers, key management, and employees start happening at a rapid pace. They all jump off board. Customers don't come. Customers like to be around other customers. If customers are not there, don't expect to have customers. Okay? So you lose customers, key management, employees, they start going. It's like everyone's jumping ship. And as the captain, you should stay back to make sure everyone is off-boarded properly. What do I mean about this? If you're going to let your business die, because that's the best option, it's not suffering, and you're not suffering, you have to know to comply on properly shutting down your business because your business is dying. There's a reason why. And you don't want shit coming biting you after several years. Oh, you did not pay your taxes, or you did not let an employee go properly, or things like that. Make sure that everything is off-boarded properly. Okay? Another point is blaming versus resolving. Everyone is blaming each other, and there is no end in sight. Everybody is blaming each other, period. As simple as that. Nobody is being accountable for their own actions because you're dying already. So what's the point? It is at this point we will recommend closing your business. Completely close down your business to go out and gracefully exit. Instead of kicking and screaming like a lot of business owners do, here are some steps you can do to lighten the blow. Okay? So first, accept the fact. Understand that you have done your best and be realistic with your shareholders. Truthfully, accept the fact that you've done your best and be realistic with your shareholders. You know what? This is not going as planned. These were my projections, this and this and that. We've lost this instead of losing this. Simple. Appreciate what you have done. Most businesses don't live past the toddler stage. So for your business to complete the life cycle, you should be immensely proud. If your business has gone from newborn all the way to senior and death, be proud of yourself because you had a great run. You might have left already a legacy. There's a lot of things that you can rescue from that venture and implement it in the new one, either through you, through your generations, through whomever it is. But there's a lot of knowledge there. Okay? Yes, you're going to be sad. It's part of the mourning process, but there's a lot of rescuable things. Maybe your brand, Toys R Us. That's an example. They die, but they die because they did not foresee the future in the toy industry. Toys nowadays are being sold, the majority, online. Okay, and actually, I think they came too late into that market. And Toys R Us, the brand, it's salvageable. Actually, it's one of the things that had been salvaged. and they're thinking of putting little stores or small stores that will bring back that brand. That brand has value. That brand has nostalgia with people our age. So we would go to Toys R Us and buy our kids toys there, because we're used to nowadays to buying on Amazon or online, but that's salvageable. That's commendable. Okay, so appreciate what you've done. Don't beat yourself down. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't beat yourself down. Learn from the experience. Okay, you thought I was going to say learn from the mistakes. No, learn from the experience. Develop an exit strategy. Okay, so whenever you start a business, we recommend our clients to develop an exit strategy so they can exit their business, not gracefully, but at the proper time or the right time. Maybe you're going to grow old, or you're growing old as an individual, and you need fresh blood. So an exit strategy in your part would be the death of you in that life cycle for your business. And then you can get new generations or new fresh blood into that business. So develop an exit strategy before you get to the point you have developed. Okay, so you have your advisory board and your trust advisors, and you develop an exit strategy right now. Okay, and say, hey, when this signals start appearing, start selling. Let's exit. And you exit as the shareholders, you exit as a group and face or venture into a new project, okay, where you're more comfortable, where you implement your knowledge, but you avoid death. You avoid death of that business, you avoid death of that industry, you go out gracefully, okay? So it's not about you. So we're going to cut short today's Lunch with the Shark. It's a lot of information. It's Monday. We should be focusing in our close of the end of the month, and also focusing on the new month that is coming in a couple of days already. So a couple of announcements. Just remember that we have the middle we are in the middle of our Young Shark competition. We have a couple of people that have already submitted their applications. Kids up to the age of 17, they'll have the opportunity to present their businesses to us, either a brand new idea or a running project. They'll get mentorship through us, through my team and myself. We're going to be offering 4 $500 cash prizes and one $750 prize, which is going to be picked by our stars, David, Benny, and Miguel Angelito. Okay, so if your kid is interested, or you know a kid that is interested, have them send us an email with a quick video saying why they would need to be considered for at kits@invictus-advisors.com. So you're seeing it there right now. And they will be our guests on next Fridays and 2 Fridays Lunch with the Shark. And they're going to be co-hosted by David, Benny, and Miguel Angelito. So I hope to see more applications. And today's quote, it's by one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin. And he said, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain." And you know what it is, except death and taxes. Well, thank you so much for tuning in on to today's Lunch with the Shark. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you tomorrow with another Lunch with the Shark in Spanish with our friend and co-host Gabriel from Mexico City. And bon appetit. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow.
Welcome to another episode of Lunch with the Shark. Join us as we dive deep into discussions about business, accounting, and finance to help you build a business that thrives. Now sit back and have a bite with your host, the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa.